Pat, a frustrating game today, a 1-1 draw here in the cup against Didcot. What did you make of it out there?
Yeah, frustrating. I think it's the right word for it. It's, do you know, I feel for the lads because I think they tried to do a lot of the right things today, and there's a lot of factors to contend with. I think it's, you're coming here and it's a difficult pitch. I think if you're on here, you can see that's a difficult pitch. I think they were obviously quite deep. They had 11 men behind the ball most of the time, which is, absolutely fair enough from them, but obviously makes it difficult for us. So there's a lot of reasons why it was a really difficult game. I think obviously we concede straight after going 1-0 up, and I think at 1-0, if we control the game and you score a second, I think it becomes a lot easier of an afternoon. But I can't really fault the lads in terms of trying to do the right things. I think we were sloppy in some parts, but everyone tried their best to get a result, to get a goal at the end. But also, if you've played football and you've played against 11 men behind the ball, it's not an easy thing to break down. So it's important that we didn't lose the game, and you give yourself a chance to then have another FA Cup game on a Tuesday night under the lights on your home pitch, which is a positive thing. But listen, we should have done better. We should be winning this game. We didn't. So we've got another chance to do it on Tuesday night.
We obviously had so much of the ball today. It was just that, as Pat said, trying to play against 11 men behind the ball for a lot of the game. That was the frustrating part of it, wasn't it?
It is. It's one of the most difficult things that you can do, I think, is to try and break down 11 men, especially on such a difficult surface. Thought we wasted the opportunity. We scored early, nice goal from IK, who I thought was our best player today, and we got sloppy for 2 minutes after we scored, and we get a sucker punch from our own mistake, and that just changes the dynamic of the game. Like Pat said, if we just do the right things for 3, 4, 5 minutes after we score, the game looks very different, no doubt. But we didn't. It's a lesson that we have to learn as a group, just to switch on a little bit more after we've scored a goal, and we have to take that lesson. I think that the positive, if you're going to spin it, is we are at home Tuesday night. We're still in the hat, and hopefully we can go and deliver on Tuesday. So there's an element of frustration because it's a game that we should be winning, and we put ourselves in a position to win it. But at the same time, it's never as simple as it looks. I'm sure there were upsets today in the cup. There are upsets at all levels, and at one point when it got a little bit sticky, it looked like there might be an upset today, and we've got ourselves through the game. It's not the result we wanted or we should be getting, but we're still in the hat for Tuesday, and if we put in a good performance and win on Tuesday, then things look positive.
Henry Curtis obviously making his debut today. Do you want to tell us a little about how you thought he got on out there?
Yeah, I thought he did okay. I thought it was it wasn't a game where the centre-backs had a whole lot to do throughout the game. There was obviously times where, he had a lot of the ball, and I thought he was good on the ball. He had some aerial duels where I felt there was some times that he was good in those. Sometimes he could be a bit more aggressive. But yeah, it was nice to see him on the pitch. And I think also it's important to give Didcot some credit because, they did put 11 men behind the ball, but they actually were quite organised and they defended well, and they put their bodies on the line at the end and had some chances themselves. So, whilst we felt frustrated and we could have done better, I also thought they grew into the game well and defended well, which is, for a team in the league below, that's what they got to do. So, listen, it's frustrating, but I completely agree with Joe. The FA Cup throws up all sorts of results. I'm sure when we look on our phone now, we'll see loads. We're still in the hat, so if we're at it on Tuesday, we'll give ourselves a good chance of getting through. But we have to do the right things, continue to do the right things that we did today, be more ruthless, and then we'll see what happens.
Talking about Tuesday's game, how will that differ to today's game, the performance that we put out there today, do you reckon?
We need to win. We expect that we will deliver a win on Tuesday. I think there's no doubt about that. We should be expecting to beat a side in the league below, so there's that element of pressure on us. I think, the obvious things, the pitch will be a lot better. It will obviously suit us a lot better. I think we did a lot of the right things today. we just didn't execute them well. You know, I think the right ideas, the right efforts were there. We just didn't execute, didn't quite have the final pass, final touch, or it bobbled, or we were a little bit loose. So you would hope that we see a difference on Tuesday in those areas. One or two lads need to play better, which is obvious. And, you know, some of them will have an opportunity to do that on Tuesday. But look, we've lost once so far this season. We're still in the hat. We delivered a solid performance in most games, and today we were just a little bit short in a few areas. But that is the FA Cup. Things can happen, and you know we've experienced that on both ends before. So we need to just make sure we deliver on Tuesday, and you know, and things will be very positive.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.